Hey my friends, it's your friend Kevin with today's Divine Daily Blast Plus, your week ahead tarot reading. And there's a lot to get to, so let's get right to it. Here we go. Angel numerology number 9 day today, all about completion, about letting go, about liftoff, if you what are you waiting for? The 9 energy brings the time to be creative and artistic, kind and caring, giving and self-sacrificing. But don't compromise yourself, my friends. Now, if you've got a tarot deck handy, pull out the Empress and the Hermit card and call upon Archangel Michael. And let's face it, Archangel Michael today or this week could not be any louder. He's here as the Divine Master, along with his counterpart Faith. And he's here for the angel activation for the week with his Sword of Light. Very, very powerful. Yesterday, we pulled the Fairies of Protection from our fairy deck. So that is something to be paying attention to. So that goes on about the number 9. Now, we're in the week 30, which is the 19th of July through to the 25th of July. And the astrology right now up in the air in the heavens is really quite intense. And that's putting it mildly. There's not been or seen any of these experiences where the planets, outer planets, have just shifted and moved in a way that they have never moved and shifted before. If you want some direct references, there's a lot of YouTube videos talking about Barbeau's basket, and this weekend from the 19th through to the 21st of July 2026 is when a brand new pattern of these planets are lining up. Jupiter, particularly the planet of expansion, of growth, of good tidings, of blessings, is particularly active in a lot of signs. And this activity, this shifting, doesn't conclude until the end of August of this year. So expect some pretty intense energies going on. Jupiter's opposing Pluto. It sextiles with Uranus, and all at the same time, Neptune is also sextiling Pluto. So it's very much a whoopity-doo-doo, let's go. Now, we have a bonus card this week in the terms of the Emperor. Now, the Emperor, whoa, excuse me, goodness gracious, that needed to come out. Oh. And another sneeze, something's got me going. The Emperor card is the ultimate tarot archetype of authority, structure, divine masculine, top down, and it's signaling the need to either take control of yourself or be witness to controlling coming apart. It is important that we establish our firm boundaries, apply discipline to your daily routines, achieve the goals that you set out to achieve. And the Emperor represents strategic planning, bringing order to the chaos. Now, the Emperor also talks about temporary rulerships, things being brought to light. And you see in this picture, Ciro Marchetti has brilliantly shown how the facade, the stone facade, is coming apart, and the underneath, the inner strength, the authenticity is showing up. This goat, or ram as you want to call it, is basically pushing forward and saying life is in a different pathway and it is showing its force. Now, what I will say about that, these changes in energy are changing everything: relationships, finances, banking, health, education. All of the top-down structured forces that we face as a human being are challenged. People are not going to know what to do, but I'm going to get to why these two cards show up for you particularly. I want you to get into the isms of everything is fine and everything you create is already blessed. If you're listening to this channel, if you're following me and many other light carriers or carriers of the light or messengers of the universe, you're going to get it. You'll get it loud and clear. I am generating a vibration, generating and radiating, the vibrational energy of joy, abundance, and love. Oh, yes, I am. I am filled with the light and love of divine consciousness, and I am blessed. The key words for this week: leadership, stability, structure, rule of law, protection, parenthood. Astrologically, while we do have a lot going on with Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, there's also this card works with the sign of Aries. Now, let's get a prayer from Archangel Azrael today. It's our daily angelic message. Call upon me, whom God helps, for support in rising from the ashes of your past, to be stronger than ever before. You're getting a pattern here. We're clearing out the ashes in the fire, sweeping it away, not even looking back, but looking forward. My past pain does not define me. I move forward with grace and peace. Archangel Azrael, I personally call him Uncle Archie, showed up to me one of the only times I've ever really seen an angel. I was in a hospital room. Basically, Archangel Azrael, I didn't know who it was. I just saw this gorgeous, beautiful figure coming through the wall, and then followed by all my relatives that were not living, including a grandmother I never met, who died in 1945, but she was there. And they were posing as if they were sitting for a photograph in sepia. And I was under the influence of pain medication. I was in the ICU, having suffered basically several heart attacks, and the big one that I had to end up having stents put in. Now, this was in September 2013, so a long time ago, and thank you, touch wood, I haven't had any issues since. However, that experience taught me that things were changing, things were coming up for changing, and that what was happening I needed to be a part of. There are other folks who are bravely coming out and talking about their NDAs, near-death experiences of having gone to another world, having these rather interesting experiences. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but later on, some years later, a similar dream happened. So I knew there was a pattern here. I'm not going to get into too much of that because it's like, okay. Now, moving on to Michael and Faith. These are our divine masters for the week. They're talking about spiritual calling, divine protection, and bringing us all breakthrough moments. Moments where our clarity seems to be a little skewed. They're talking about where you are right now is exactly where you're most needed. Asking us to consider ourselves being strategically placed, even if where you are isn't quite as ideal as you want it to be, there's an opportunity to align with the purpose and meaning. So if you're experiencing kind of like that moody, dark cloud of uncertainty or even fear, you pull in Archangel Michael and Archangel Faith. That's a divine masculine and feminine. They work together. And if you've been asking to be shown your life's purpose, know that you are right now is exactly where you're meant to be. What you're facing will help you to be greater service to other people. The life you've got, the life you're in, is destined to be aligned to spirituality, your higher purpose. And this particular challenge that you're in is actually the moment when you break through to a greater understanding of who you truly are. Then we have Archangel Michael, who's our angelic protector. These are not accidents. I mean, I just pulled these yesterday for this week coming up. So then I'm turning into Barbo's basket and seeing all of this, and I'm thinking, okay, there's something in this. This card is clearing the way. So you just say, thank you, Michael, for clearing the road to my highest truth. The highest truth of realizing who you are and who you are meant to be, and getting aligned with what you've really wanted showing up for you in no uncertain terms, but having the belief that things are really truly changing and other things are falling to pieces so that we can make way for new things. This is not something new. This is something I've been saying for quite a while. Louise Hay's daily diary, quite amusing. I laugh at myself and at life, and nothing can touch me. That's all about protection. We no longer need to be bogged down by our circumstances. We stand up, break free, and you'll see how many other people are standing up, breaking free. Global protests are going on in the name of this is wrong, we can't have this. People from different countries standing up for those citizens of other countries in support. It is quite astonishing. Now, the tarot card for today is the star card. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Now, the star is the 17th major arcana card in the whole tarot deck. It symbolizes hope, renewal, healing, and a spiritual path. It also represents a period of calm and inspiration, coming after a very difficult cycle. So it encourages all of us to trust the universe, embrace our authentic selves, and have a deeply positive omen signaling peace, clarity, and the return of your authenticity, your authentic life. You know, these lotus flowers, they're growing in lovely clear water. Typically, lotus grows in mud. The star, following the North Star, all of these messages. Now today, let's see what the fairies have to say. I'm going to see if we can't pull all this together. There's got to be something. Oh, that one looked like it was going to flop out. Let's see. Celebration. Now, you might say, well, some of you might look at all these cards and all these messages as doom and gloom. Personally, I look at that as the greatest transformation we could ever be facing. I look at it like we all came through the pandemic 6 years ago. We all survived, even though some of us had catastrophic changes that can never be reversed. However, we kept going. We moved on. And this celebration card said, get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. It's an invitation that you're on your way. You're on your way to greater things. You're on your way to greater understanding. And with the click of my fingers, I will bring you the cards for this week. Okay, my friends, here we go. Here's the spread for the week. But before I get into each card and what's going on, I should talk about where the moon is. The moon is shifted from Virgo into Libra, and the transformative energies that continue, they've got potential to bring massive shifts in your life, as I just said. Wake up and stop worrying about the small stuff. There's a reason you're reading this today. There's a reason this message found you. And we're going to go through these messages all week. Each day, I bring you the Divine Daily Blast. I'm going to bring you the associated card that goes with it, along with the Daily Blast card. So you see how they play into each day as we go. So pay attention to those videos. We've talked about the Emperor, being the bonus card for this week, top down falling apart, and the newness of you emerging. We've talked about the star card. Now we're going to move into Monday. We've got the Queen of Swords. So on Monday, that is an angel numerology 10-1 day, being present and awake for the next cycle of events. Now on Monday, Jupiter trines with Neptune and at the same time is opposing Pluto. Neptune being the dreamer, the haphazard planet, Pluto being the great destroyer. So you get the message. The Queen of Swords represents sharp intellect, uncompromising honesty, clear boundaries, and she cuts through the confusion with objective logic. Often, she's representing a self-reliant person or a phase requiring you to be fiercely truthful with yourself. Now, the Queen of Swords embodies wisdom, gains that same wisdom comes through life experiences. She's a master communicator. She can discern right through all of the nonsense. And she trades wishful thinking for raw, unfiltered reality. And while she can sometimes appear cold and blunt, her intent is never to harm anyone, but rather to reveal the truth. We're being called, my friends, to lead with our head rather than our heart. It's a time to set firm boundaries. Moving on to Tuesday. On Tuesday, it's an angel numerology number 2. Keep the faith and watch your negative thinking. The first quarter moon has showed up in Libra, and Jupiter is sextiling Uranus. Sextile means it's an astrological benefit without too much effort. It's just the way it is. It's done for our help. This is the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups in tarot is all about apathy, introspection, missed opportunities. It often points to a period of boredom, sometimes emotional detachment, or taking the current situations and blessings for granted. To make sure on Tuesday that you're not so wrapped up in your own feelings or your own disappointments that you fail to notice this new opportunity being offered to you. And in this card, she's so busy looking at the swan and the pond and this big cups here, she's forgetting to see there's an extra one right behind. She sees all these three, but can't see that one. Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday is an angel numerology 22, which reduces to a 4. That's the angel influence being amplified. It's a master builder number with angelic help about new dreams, new opportunities, new things coming to light. Now this is on Wednesday. 3. It's a 3 angel numerology 3. Thursday is a 4. Gentle guidance for ascended masters and your loved ones happens on Wednesday. This is why this makes sense. It didn't make sense before. The sun moves into Leo on Wednesday. So happy birthday to all those folks born between the 22nd of July and towards the end of August. The sun is widely considered, this is why it's showing up here in this card, to be the most positive, joyful card in the tarot. It represents vitality, success, optimism. It indicates that your day in the sun has already arrived. Expect clarity, radiant energy, and the natural abundance to illuminate your pathway forward. Now let's go on to Thursday. This makes more sense to me, and I apologize for messing it up. Thursday is the 22-4 day. Master builder number, angelic help, you get the message. The other thing on Thursday, Mercury comes out of retrograde in the sign of Cancer. So it went into retrograde in Cancer. Coming out of it is in Leo. And the card is the 10 of Coins. Now the 10 of Coins is often called 10 of Pentacles. It represents ultimate abundance, generational wealth, and lasting security. This card signifies the successful culmination of your hard work, and it's pointing to a stable home and family environment where harmony is possible. Now, on Thursday, you probably are likely going to create meaningful legacies that outlast you. The Ten of Coins is an incredibly positive card, indicating that financial help, worldwide windfalls, inheritance, long-term investments are all paying off. You're being well supported and surrounded by loved ones at this time and successfully laying the foundation for your family's future. This card's the green light for building something worthwhile, something long-term, something enduring. On Friday, we have the energetic number 5, or the angel numerology number 5. Change and adventures are being on their way. This is the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups is a Jack Dandy of the deck. Big, romantic, big gestures, kind of fun, kind of flirty. Symbolizing the pursuit of long, creative and spiritual ideals, this card encourages you to let your intuition and your emotions lead the way. Instead of relying on logic, go with heartfelt feelings. It's a genuine conviction because the Knight of Cups wears his heart on his sleeves. He's a bit of a dreamer. On Saturday, we go into a number 6 angel numerology day. Be creative. Review the plans you are letting go of and sort of get in the mindset of what can I do to replace that energy, that time. Here we have the Magician. The Magician's sort of sitting on top of his little cauldron here, mixing and moving and shaking and carrying on. The Magician represents the number 1 of the major arcana deck and represents manifestation, resourcefulness, as well as inspired action. The core message of the Magician is that you already possess all the tools, all the skills, all the power to turn your desires into reality. It is a time to call forward and take deliberate control over your entire life and use your abilities to shape your goals. That is quite something. So I say this week, my friends, is a fast-paced week. Revelations, both heart-based, oh, this feels so good, and mind-based, all what just happened. Here's the caveat I'm going to tell you that is really important. Whatever time of every single day, every day, get into the habit of grounding and doing breath work, or any spiritual activity and practice that you can. Basically put it in your calendar, because these habits, breath work, grounding, you can even practice Qigong, yoga, that spiritual movement in action. You can go out, sit under a tree. You can find a book of prayer, a book of affirmations, a book of poetry. Whenever it is, when you hear that alarm, go and prepare yourself to do some spiritual breathing and spiritual grounding, because you will notice all of those who are not, and they will notice all of you who are. It is where the opposing humanitarian energies, the old crumbling away and going bye-bye, and the new saying, oof, not me, not my madness, not my story, not my drama. And the ones that are not sure what to do with the crumbling and the breaking down and what's happening next, case in point, Great Britain on Monday gets possibly a new Prime Minister. That's number 7 or number 8 in 10 years, or something like that. These are the things we're witnessing and we're seeing. It is that, goodness, golly gosh, what happened now? However, those who are into their breath, those who are seeing the light in their chest, the light in their feet, the light in their eyes, the light in their head, are just moving along in a whole new vibrational era. So those who are in the, how come you're so calm and collected? This is what I do. This is what I've been doing. This is how I stay in the now, in the present, in the unfolding. It is a little bit like standing on the sidewalk and watching the parade go by. Everything's different. Everything changes. Here comes another float. And you're still standing on the sidewalk watching the parade go by. Does that make sense to you? The grounding, the spiritual practice, the breath work. Take a deep breath in. You breathe out. Wow. And the parade's gone by. Here's another float. If you can get into that giggly, girly, silly madness, you'll do just fine. I love all of you so much. I'm grateful that you tune in. Tell your friends. I'm here to ground you, and really my purpose in this whole life, everything I've ever done with my life, is linked to transformation. I believe in my heart of hearts that's what I came to do. I do it with hair, I did it with yoga, I did it with teaching people how to do something better with their life, and now I'm doing it with these videos. Incidentally, we have over 2,200 out there. Till tomorrow, I love you. Bye for now.